My goal here is to give you a comprehensive and hopefully easy to understand tutorial of how to set up a running daily or consistent journal that you can run with your students. So we're going to jump right in. The first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a template. So I'm going to click on New and Google Docs. And I'm going to name it something that I'll be able to use with all of my students. So it wouldn't be something from my end to see. It would be something that I would want it to be named on the student side. So it'll be running journal, and then I'm going to end up adding running journal for John Stevens, for example. There we go, something fairly basic. And I'm going to change the font on here just to show you something a little bit later. Go here. All right, there we go. So I have, the first thing is a template. Now, if you think about it, students are going to be getting a digital copy of this, just like if you were to run to the copy machine, make copies for all your students, this is what they would receive. Next up, I'm going to create a folder, Running Journal Master, and I'm going to drag that Running Journal document into the Running Journal Master folder. Now you can name this however you'd like. I'm naming it that way just to make it easier for me. I'm also going to create another folder, Student Journals. So it's kind of setting the table a little bit. Next up, what I need to do is I need to get student contact information. So I'm going to go to New, go to More, and create a Google form. Go. And first name, and their last name. And let me go back and make these required. And the last thing that I'll put in there is email address. Down on the bottom right, I'm going to click on data validation and change number to text, contains to email address. This is just making sure that students enter in a response that looks like an email address. It's not going to be scrubbing through all of the email addresses in existence. Okay, so something just to note. Up in the top left, it says Untitled Form. If I click on it once, it'll change it to Student Contact Information, just like the title here. Next up, I want to make sure that anybody can fill this form out. So I'm going to click on the gear and deselect this box. We don't want to restrict it to only GAIF accounts within the district, or maybe you do, but for the sake of this, we're not. So we'll save. And now if I click on the eyeball here, this would be the form, this would be the link rather, that I put onto School Loop, into Google Classroom. Any way that I want to disseminate that information, I'm going to copy this link and paste it into the correct place. And there, and I'll fill it out one more time just to have a little bit of variety here. There we go. So now I've filled out this form twice. I'd recommend that you do the same. Back in the form itself, I can click on Responses and then click on this little green square with a plus sign. It's going to create a new spreadsheet. There we go. Yay, I'm getting closer. Looking at the spreadsheet, I need to add something to it. If you don't yet have a program called Doctopus, you'll want to go to Get Add-ons and install Doctopus. Free, easy to find and install. You can go ahead and pause this if you need to and come back to it later. But I'm going to launch Doctopus, coming over here. What Doctopus is going to do is it's going to create a digital copy of a template for every student on a roster. First thing I need to do here is I need to say that I want it to distribute drive resources to a roster. We're going to build a new roster. And we are going to select it from this sheet. And let's create a roster. Down here it says, please populate the sheet with names and email addresses. Well, once I have all of my students complete the form, it will be easy because all I need to do is copy and paste every single one of the students on this list. For now, I only have 2 students, so I'll copy every bit of information there and paste it in here. Okay. So you should be able to do that same thing for all 175 or less or more students within your roster. Notice here that I can't type anything in. If I click on refresh, now that I have a roster, it will allow me to create a class. And I'm just going to create that roster name, journal entries. Really doesn't matter. I'm also going to deselect create class folders. That's not something that I need for this. We'll save and continue. All right. We're going to select the sharing type, individual, all the same. So every student who fills out this form is going to get the same version of the template, okay, as if you were going to a digital copy machine. We're going to leave all of these other ones here, leave them alone, and go down to save and continue. Next up, we need to find where that template is. And if you remember at the beginning of this, I created a folder saying Running Journal Master. Go here and I'll select it. I just clicked on it once and clicked on select. Now what it's doing is it's looking in that folder and asking me to find the template to use. So the template I want to use is the document that is the running journal. Remember, it is this one here, a running journal. And I'll save and continue. And here it's saying set assignment folder required. I'm going to choose existing because I've already created a folder where I want my students' information to go. It's the student journals. So I'll select that one there. Now that I've done that, I need to find a way to name my documents. This one might be confusing at first, but hopefully I'll be able to help here. So $ first name, $ last name, $ email. What that's doing is it's pulling the data from these columns. If I put in $ last name, comma, $ first name, when this student receives his document, it will be Stevens, comma, John, dash, student contact information. I'm good with this, and what I will change there is running. I'm not going to worry about sending a sharing notification. I'll save and continue. And go ahead and watch the second video just to check and make sure.